warm welcome, namaste to you all. Thank you for joining me for this month's reading for October for Virgo. Guys, this is your reading. We're using these new cards from Sandra and Taylor, and they are energy cards. We will shuffle them a little bit to get your intention into them, and then we will draw 6 of them and see what messages are coming your way. As well, I did draw a card from the Light Keeping deck, or the Keepers of the Light, for you at the beginning, and your card was one of my favourites, Green Tare. She is about protection and trust and moving beyond limitations. So we will see what message she has for you at the end of the reading. In the meantime, let's shuffle these up a little bit and get Virgo's energy on board. They are a little bit difficult to shuffle because they are quite big cards, but that's all fine. It will be what it will be. Okay, so Virgo, the World, that's beautiful. Contract, Angel of Balance, 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron, woman holding a heart, and all tied up. So Virgo, what do we see here for you guys? Let's see if I can just make sure I'm trying to focus this as best as I can. So we shall start the top card on the left with 29, which is the World. So the World there in the card is spinning high above the vista of a man standing beneath it. It's telling us that we have great opportunities around us and that sometimes we need to look further afield. So if there is anything that you're either becoming, like locked into or can't see past, or if there are things that are blocking your way, or if your creative side is shut down, or you're thinking to yourself, I can't find a way out of this situation, I don't feel I have any options. You do have options, and it's just about looking further afield. It's about expanding your horizons. It's possibly about opening up with other people to find suggestive ways forward as well. So it's like some of you, I really get the feeling that you've got something going on in the month of October, because this contract here is about contracts, literally, and all tied up also is about contracts and things either being stuck or not being able to move forward. So some of you are wanting something to happen, and it could be anything from being accepted for a new role for something, either a new job application or career opportunity or business that's starting up, or a home that you're moving, or a legal opportunity, or even something like you're waiting for an invitation to come in to be asked to be engaged or married, or who knows. There's all these sorts of things going on, and you feel like, why isn't it happening? Well, part of it is because you guys need to open up and expand a little bit more, and that is definitely what the World card is telling you. So I think just be available to see more options, be open to more options, also do some more questioning. Now, the other thing that the World card can be suggestive of is travelling around the world. So some of you might be planning trips, or you might already be on trips that mean moving around and travelling one way or another, possibly for the opportunity of new entrepreneurship or new business ties or activities or things along those lines as well. We come to the second card, which is the contract, and we see here the scales, which always talks to us about balance, and right next door you have balance here. So you are getting a double message through quite a lot of your cards. They're duplicating themselves, and they're suggesting most definitely bringing balance into order for the month of October. So if something is out of balance or out of kilter, think of how it is that you can readjust it and bring it back into balance, because when it is, it will move forward at a much greater pace. The contract card also talks to us about the signing of contracts. So some of you may literally be ready to sign a legal contract. This could be an employment contract, or, as I said earlier, the sale or purchase of a property or home or shares, or something to do with wills or inheritance, anything along those lines. Now, it also has to do with potential legal activity. So if any of you are in a situation where the law courts are around you, You might be attending a court summonings for whatever reason. Often this card would signify that it could be going to bode fairly well in your favour. So I'm not sure, some of you it could be family matters, you know, like a family court, divorce proceedings or hearings, or business proceedings or hearings, anything along those lines. It tells us that balance could be coming in your favour, and especially if you address it in the right way for the month. The other thing that I think of that contract card, which is a little bit different than how the person who devised the deck would utilise it, I often think that there can be karmic contracts going on here in our life, and when we have karmic contracts, these people have signed up to us and vice versa for a whole reason in our lifetime. So there might be people around you who are you're either enjoying the relationship and it feels really great, or there are karmic bonds and contracts that were signed that you literally can't get out of. And sometimes these people keep popping back into your life and you think, oh no, they're back again. Why do they keep coming back? Or why does this issue keep readdressing or resurfacing? It's because until we know how to work it through at its highest vibrational level, it will keep returning and reoccurring. So it's something that we're learning and going through. And if it is something really frustrating for you, which can be to do with relationships one way or another, or finances, just know that every time you go through it and learn and deal with it in a more positive manner, you're slowly making an inroad on it, and it becomes lesser and lesser and lesser. And I think too that's what the Angel of Balance talks to us about as well. Now she does talk about balance in terms of diet and exercise and food, and especially water for hydration. She also has the moon in the background, so I think she's referring to the eclipses and types of energy that are going on in your life. Possibly some of you may have felt really out of balance or things out of control in particular. So a way of addressing that is definitely through here, and through the use of your intellect and being able to calm yourself down, being able to meditate and connect with your psychic or clairvoyant abilities, and also your gut instincts. If something doesn't feel right, or if you feel like you shouldn't be doing something, it's as if your integrity values aren't being honoured, then don't do it. Move away from it. Bring back balance into your life. Listen to your needs and your wants and desires. They're very, very important. You know, we have a lot of external people and situations and emotions around us, and we sometimes try to meet them all. But if you're not meeting your own integrity values, life just gets out of balance. And when it does, all sorts of things go wrong. So listen to yourself and listen to your intuitive self, Virgo. And you are actually quite good at doing that too. You're quite, disciplined. So I think these things up here, you can deal with very, very well. Your ability to be disciplined and logical is one of your key points to success. So we move here to the woman holding a heart, and we quite clearly see this woman has her heart on show. So for some of you, this can be a new person coming into your life who could be a very close romantic bond, and it could just be a lovely friendship that's coming in as well. So it can be interpreted from either direction. She does wear her heart on her sleeve, and she holds it very open out there. So she can be someone who supports the heart. She could be someone who warms your heart, who just gives unconditionally, who is very nurturing and helpful and supportive. So to have someone like this coming into your life is actually a wonderful blessing. So however she turns up, and believe me, she could in the month of October, enjoy her harmony and company. She could be an earth sign like yourself with all that nurturing of the heart. She could also be a watery sign person. Some of you, as I said, it could be a new romance. Others, it could be new friendships. If it's yourself, it's possibly yourself needing to nurture your heart a little more and to make sure that you feel the energies of love in the month of October, so that you enjoy, it's hard to explain, but love and bliss and euphoria and happiness, they all merge in together. And when you experience those wonderful feelings, everything in life seems freer and easier and more connected and more light, you know, light infusement like this. So we come to this last card, 23, and it's all tied up, and she very much is taking me back into the reading, into the contract, the angel of balance and the world. They seem to just be, it's almost as if you get to a point where it's going okay, but then you get yourself tied up again. So I think it's a little bit about loosening up for the month of October and letting go of the need to control and letting go of a really restricted outcome. You have to have, which is what we said right from the very beginning, you have to have a wider perspective, a wider viewpoint on some situations that are going on in your life, and allow them to unfold naturally, or to unfold in a direction that you perhaps hadn't anticipated or couldn't see. And when you allow that to happen, you're going to be surprised at the outcomes that the universe is going to allow to happen. And you'll go, oh my God, well, I hadn't looked at that, or I hadn't realized that. And I think it will be really, really beneficial. So when we tie ourselves up, we stop the flow of life force, of yin-yang, of energy, of events, of occurrences. We become stifled, we stop our own creativity. We get things out of balance. We stop contracts from flowing. So even though it's the last card of the reading, and we'd talked about a lot of this before, I think they just want to reiterate to you about not allowing things to be tied up and letting some flexibility come in. So there you are, Virgo. That's quite a nice reading. It's quite stroppy, if you get my meaning. They've definitely got things that they want to tell you. So I'm sure that will mean something pertinent for each and every one of you. But as we put these cards away, let's get the last card out, which, as I said, is one of my very favourites, is green Tare. And I have some beautiful green energy stones too that can come in and surround her. And I will move the camera in a little bit. I know it's a bit frustrating when the camera bounces around all over the place, but I'm just trying to get it so, first of all, we can read the words. So green Tare, supreme protection. And so when you have this protection, this galactic celestial protection, you don't need to worry so much about everything being in balance either, and worrying about contracts or worrying about how an event is going to turn out, because you know that you're being overlooked and that you've put the most benevolent messages out there to give or offer protection for you. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. And I think that word trust was probably something that I had missed saying in my initial reading, because when we trust, wow, so much can take place. You know, we allow. We're not tying things up. We're not holding back. So I found it really quite beautiful that I pulled these cards well in advance of your actual reading, and in some cases 2 or 3 days in advance of the reading, and yet they have still turned out to be, in most cases, profoundly linked into the main part of the reading. So that's just a wonderful synchronistic synergy, if you like, of how we flow and how connectivity just traverses through life. So enjoy the essence and energies of green Tare. There's a couple of beautiful meditations on YouTube for green Tare, and I can put a link in at the bottom of your video for you to have a look at. I listen to them often because they're just so gorgeous. So there you are, Virgos. You have a lovely reading with some really in-depth, wonderful insights and some glorious supreme protection. So be safe, everyone, and have much supreme protection, green Tare energy, and love in the month of October. So thank you for joining me, subbing, liking, and leaving your comments. I love them all. Much love, everyone. Namaste.